emailed all this information to you, but as it's already been stated, it is an individual right. The governor has already clarified that for Florida, and now the commissioner over education has already resounded right behind that, saying it's an individual choice, which is what we've been saying to you all along. So tomorrow, it's a no mask day regardless. It doesn't matter. It's an individual choice. It doesn't matter what the science is, and even if it did, your superior has already spoken to all superintendents in the state of Florida. He's represented saying it's a choice. So going forward, I truly hope that that's what the recommendation is tonight, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
First I want to say, Jesus Christ is Lord, and perfect love cast out all fear. This has been a fear-driven agenda from the beginning. This has been a fear-driven agenda, and parents, we have to take back what is ours. It was never yours. The real estate of our children's face and the air they breathe is not up for a vote. It will never be up for a vote. Even though y'all put it up for a vote, and overwhelmingly the majority in this county says remove the mask. But even if they didn't, we don't ask wolves what to do with the sheep. Those are our children, and we didn't ever hand them over to you to decide. The area that they breathe is personal. This is their property, every little face. Can you imagine somebody having an asthma problem, having any trouble breathing? Each one of you, if you do that, what do? You snatch your mask off, you breathe, you go get some fresh air. Okay, imagine a child facing intimidation from your people to say, hey, put up your mask. Put that back on your face. That air's not yours. Are you showing your face in this place? These kids come up here today, a couple of them didn't have a mask on. They probably get in trouble for that on a regular day. That's going to stop. And I'm going to use a quick analogy. You loan somebody your car. They don't bring it back. You go to their house. You knock on the door and you say, give me my car back. And they say, go away. So you come back a month later and you get 3 minutes to talk to them. You say, give me my car back. They don't give it back to you. You call your congressman, they don't care. Police, they don't care either. All right? You repeatedly go back, month after month. They're starting to try to make alterations to your car. They're starting to paint stuff on it, painting over the windshield, doing what they want to it. You say, give me my car back, and they won't give you it back. And you don't know what to do. And then you reach down in your pocket and you see all along you've had the keys to your car. So parents, unlock your car, get in it, and drive it home. It's your car.
Thank you.
On the mask, I'm going to kind of take a different approach. I'm not going to ask you guys for anything. It was never their decision. They never had the power to mask your kids. So all you have to do is not mask your kids. So with that, you govern by the consent of the governed. We no longer consent. You no longer have a decision.
I've stood in front of this council a couple times. I stood in front of the other council a couple times. I've stood in front of Escambia County commissioners all the way to the city of Milton fighting this mask mandate. It is slap retarded. My child has been in remote learning for the past year because I refused to put a mask on her, because I myself have not put one on once. And I'm still alive, okay? She has struggled in school because she's done remote learning, okay? And she would have probably done a lot better if she would have done it in brick and mortar, but I'm not going to subject my kid to something that I don't believe in. You have heard a lot of really upset, disgruntled people today that voted y'all in, and you don't hear nobody at all. You just took your mask off to drink your water. How is that any different than not wearing a mask? None. It's no different at all, because you still breathe the air that's all in this auditorium right now. You know what I mean? You're forcing your hand over our children's, making them do something that parents do not believe in. All right? This is a free country. We should have a free choice to do what we please as long as it's not hurting the next man. And wearing a mask does nothing but subject our kids to the psyche, the breathing in of the air that their body is filtering out of their system. You know, I had wrote a little paper here, but a lot of people have said a lot of what I was going to say today about the education commissioner. You know, that's like basically y'all's boss. And I know he said he can leave it up to the districts, but your district is telling you to remove the mask mandate. Y'all do not care what we think. So it basically tells me you don't care about your job and you should be voted out. You know, I told you once before I voted for you, and I'm quite frankly ashamed that I wasted my vote on you because you're forcing this on my child and all these other people's children. You know, Escambia and Okaloosa County has been a choice to wear a mask, a choice. But rates are still falling. COVID is not anything to be concerned about. The flu is far worse, in my opinion. I'm more afraid to get cancer than I am COVID. I'm in public every day working around everybody. All right, but this isn't about me. This is about my kid and all these people's kids. All right, y'all need to listen to the parents, the people that voted y'all in. All right, period. Period. All right.
My request would be to bump up the agenda on this issue. Masks should have been removed from our children's faces, not tomorrow, yesterday. They should have been removed yesterday. Our own governor, DeSantis, has realized that the lockdown that he imposed on Floridians was a mistake. And I think that he was thinking of his re-election somehow, because now he's very popular. He is more popular than ever with all Republican voters. And I think that when your re-election will come, you're going to be judged on your stance on masks. It's okay to make a mistake. I mean, we can all be stupid at some point. Like I do stupid stuff, but I'm a man enough to recognize it and say this was a stupid decision. I'm sorry I imposed this on your children, and you can do this and redeem yourselves to your voters who all voted you in, because you're going to be judged on your stance on critical race theory, masks on our children. These un-American policies, quite frankly, it's surprising that in Santa Rosa County, which is, I think, the most conservative county of Florida, all of our school board is currently masked up. I mean, are we in California? I mean, did we elect the Democrats? It's really concerning. So thank you for your time, and I think the reaction here tells a lot about how your people feel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Freshman at Navarre High School. So I'm sick of masks. I go to school early for before school activities. I get there at 7:15 in the morning, and then I don't leave school until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. If you do the math, that's almost 10 hours that I have to wear a mask throughout the day. I understand the risk of going to school. I understand that when I'm going to school, I'm putting myself at risk of getting any virus. We're also forced to wear them outside. Like, even if we're in the hallways, walking outside to go to another class, we have to wear them outside. It doesn't matter where we are. Also, my acne has become awful. If you look at it, it has not been nearly this bad at all. Since we started wearing masks, it has exploded. It has become awful. And nobody at our school wants to wear them anyways. Half the kids I see have them below their nose, under their mouth. Like, nobody wants to wear them. They're awful to the kids. We're also intimidated into wearing them. The teachers scare us into wearing them, making us feel that we're going to fail school if we don't wear them. And I saw one of your previous meetings, you guys said that we're allowed to take them off when we're socially distanced. That is not the case. At our school, you have to wear it wherever you are, no matter how far you are from everyone. And during sports, we are allowed to take them off, but it's very strict. The second you are not physically active, you have to put it back on, even if you're still cooling down, trying to catch your breath from that run. So if this continues, if what you guys are doing continues, none of you will have your jobs at the next election. Thank you.
Favano, I live in Navarre. You've got my address there. I'm not going to be as politically correct as these other folks. I'm going to call a spade. Y'all are communists right now, okay? And I mean that. You have dictated what we are to do with the health of our children. You have chosen what we do with our children. I have sat here many times. This is not the first time I've been here, and you know that, I'm sure. These folks have sat up here and told you they don't want a mask. Not just tonight, but many times before tonight. You've listened to children tell you that. What is going to be enough for you to go, okay, hey, you know what? The science isn't there because I haven't seen you
provide a lick of proof that scientifically shows that masks actually help in the prevention of COVID or the slowing or anything. Matter of fact, there are Stanford peer reviews that show that they don't, not only do they not work, they cause you health problems. And you folks don't give a shit. When are you going to start? I'm sorry, you don't give a crap. When are you going to start listening to the people that voted you in and pay your salary and take the mask off our children? When?
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board? All right, seeing none, the public forum is... Officer, will you please escort this gentleman out? At this time, since I've seen no other speakers, I'm closing public forum.
Sure was better when Big Russell was superintendent. And then you get
And at this time, I'm going...
right here. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
All right, at this time...
But this is communism.
All right, at this time, we're going to take a 10-minute recess.
Of the parents who have a different opinion than you do about what face masks are.
Because they're afraid.
So in looking at...
I got a text saying it, yes. They're afraid.
No, again.
I'm sorry.
So those parents, there was, as I said, I want to go back to a couple other pieces of data. The employees that took the survey, 60% is actually a very good response to a survey. And of our 60% of our employees who come to work every day to love and teach and prepare your children for a future, 53% of them want us to keep this policy in place till at least the end of the school year. 47% want us to change that policy. When we look at the parent survey, potentially 24,000 votes could have been cast. We had about 3,500. 16%, I believe, of the parents who could have voted in this survey. That's a small representation. We advertised that, and I also sent it out on School Messenger. Okay, so out of that survey, 47% of our parents said they want this policy to stay in place till the end of this school year. 53% said they want it to be changed. 40% of those that fall within that 53% want us to remove the mask mandate right away. 13% say change it to encourage as soon as possible. And so that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do.
Dr. Barber, you know what the difference between those numbers are? Is one group...
Ma'am, public forum is over, please.
Okay.
Ma'am, this is your warning.
Okay.
We need to get through.
A couple other points I want to make. We started this school year with this policy in place that face coverings were required. When you can't social distance 6 feet apart, indoors or outdoors, and that is in compliance with the Florida Public Health Advisory. So parents chose under this current policy to send their children to school. Now I understand that you all objected to the policy from the beginning, and yet many of you chose to send your children to school anyway, and we appreciate that. We also have parents who chose to send their children to school because of the mitigation strategies we have in place, including the face coverings. We have employees who chose to come to work under the conditions that we currently have with our face covering requirement. For second semester, we had over 500 students whose parents chose to bring their students from a remote setting back to a brick and mortar setting. Many of them we've heard from did that because of our mitigation strategies in place. Now, we've talked about the differences between the school districts, and that's true. And I can see how you would say, well, they did it, so why didn't this school board make that decision? Okay. I have personal conversations with both superintendents, Dr. Tim Smith in Escambia County and Marcus Chambers, superintendent in Okaloosa County. If you look at Okaloosa's policy, it's highly recommended, but on school buses, guess what? It's mandatory. In Escambia, I'm not sure of their school bus policy. It's highly recommended there. But guess what? Their school campuses are closed. They don't allow parents on campus during the school day. They don't allow parents to volunteer during the school day. If you look at what we have in place for this fourth 9 weeks, we want you in our schools. And with our mitigation strategies in place, we revised our protocol to say, yes, you can come and volunteer on campus. You can be at book fairs. You can come to plays. You can come to athletic events during the school day. So what we've tried to do is to value the partnership we have with you and to make it so that we could have you on our school campuses during the school day, not just at night. Now, I also heard a gentleman that was concerned about graduation. Let me talk to you about graduation. For most of our high schools, they'll be at the Bay Center again. Those are going to be on schedule. The Bay Center, guess what? Requires this face covering. That's their policy. So even if we change our policy, we will still be required to have face coverings when we're there. We're hoping that they open up so that we can have a 75% capacity at the Bay Center, which means that each high school senior will get, I think, a minimum of 8 tickets so that their families can come and participate. And we will live stream there as well, but we're revising that, ma'am, because of the increase in capacity at the Bay Center. We're working with them. I can tell you that even with the face coverings in place, if you have a high school senior, when they get to that stage and they're going to cross that stage on one of the most important days of their life, they'll be able to take this off. When they take their picture, when they receive their diploma, they'll be able to take this off. So we're trying to make sure that we make that day as normal as possible, because our goal is to have your children be in the safest environment in the most normal setting possible. Now, I've heard some of you talk about the fact that you feel like, and we heard a young man, a student from Navarre High School, said that he gets there early in the morning and he's there for 10 hours and he doesn't get to take this off. So one of the things I want to make sure that our administrators and our teachers know is, it really is, if you can't be 6 feet apart, that you put on the face covering. If kids can social distance, if the teacher can social distance, this face covering can come off. That's the policy. And that's what we've been implementing this year. And if I hear you, some of you say it's not been implemented consistently, then we certainly will reinforce with our principals and assistant principals and our teachers that it's 6 feet apart, and if we're 6 feet apart, this face covering can come off, and we want it to, okay? So based on the fact that we have parents who sent their children to school under these current conditions, and we have employees who came to work under this current policy. Oh, one other thing. Some of you mentioned, and listen, I'm listening to you, that you have students with a medical condition. If you work with your doctor, you can get a medical exemption so that they don't have to wear,
Sir, please. This is final warning. Deputies, I'm going to ask you to remove anyone who is calling out. Okay. Sir, can you please escort this gentleman out? Thank you.
Will never give you your rights back. You have control over your children. You make the decision. When you decide to stop masking your kids, they don't have a choice. You don't have your passport. You don't have your tattoo on your arm.
All right, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Officer, can you please Officer, Deputy, could you please remove that? Okay, so here's my recommendation, school board. We are trying to get the recommendation and move forward in this proceeding, but these disruptions